It's been a long time. I should have left you without some strong content to relax to, kick back and enjoy yourself while you're sitting there, just having a good time with your day. It's been a minute since I did one of these, but you know what? Coach got to come on back in this thing and give y'all another episode of Blow the Whistle with your coach, Coach Walker. Now I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this thing right here is gonna be a little bit off the chain because I had to really dive in on this one right quick. But y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all tell a friend of a friend to come on in. Everybody come on and tap on in this thing. Let's have us a good time with this thing. But you know what? Like I said, I appreciate you all for coming on in here and kicking it with your favorite coach. This show is going to be out of order as far as how I'm going to drop this thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. So y'all go ahead and strap on in. We're going to go ahead and take off right now because you know what? It's been a minute since I dropped one of these. So again, welcome back to Blow the Whistle with your favorite coach, Coach Walker. We're going to go ahead and dive on in. But you know what? Coach is hoping everybody's had a wonderful day. Everything's going your way. I mean, the things that you hope would happen for you this day or better yet in the near future is going in the direction that you want to go. So I'm just saying, all things are working for your good. So just hear me on that and just keep on progressing and doing the things that you need to do to keep moving yourself in the right direction when you're looking to go. But, as we see this world right now, there's been a lot of changes that's happening right before our eyes. You got government funds being frozen and all this other kind of crazy stuff. You got nepotism going on where you got a friend of a friend getting tapped on in to get a job where, they getting that cush, they getting that bag now. Some of these cats out here was making like 40, 50 grand. Now all of a sudden they make it upwards to like 160, 170, things of that nature. But it's funny. It's funny I mentioned that because it seems like when that is done in our community. I'm going to say my community because I don't know who's watching me out there, and I don't want to offend anyone because it might be happening in your community as well, but I'm just going to tell it the way I see it. And the thing is, when you look at everything that's happening, I mean, right now we got folks that want to wipe away African-American, I'm not going to say African-American. Some folks get upset when people say African-American instead of saying Black American. I'm going to say Black American. They're trying to wipe away Black American history, trying to, move things forward as if, Black American history never happened. It's like as if we didn't have anything to do with this here world that we live in. I mean, as far as coming up with different ideas, manufacturing things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna bore you with all that because I don't want to give you no history. I don't want to give you no history lesson right now. This is about us having a good time. We're gonna have a good time because I know some of y'all out there, y'all need to laugh and have a good time and just make it, just let your mind roll around just a little while to get an understanding of exactly what's going on. But it's fair to say that we can say that two things can be right as well as wrong at the same time, right? That's true. I mean, it's a fact that sometimes things that are right can also be wrong. I think I said that wrong. I said it wrong the first time. Let me clear that up. It's fair to say that sometimes things can be right, can also be wrong at the same damn time. When it comes to giving someone a helping hand to move forward, that goes back to what I was saying before. See, the funny thing is, depending upon the community, I'll go with the word community. Depending upon the community that we're talking about, when a helping hand is being given to someone for them to move forward, for them to excel, for them to have an opportunity to do something that if they would have went the long road to get there, they may have never seen that opportunity. And depending upon who it is that we're talking about, is either favored, it's favored where it's made to look like, oh, that's just a great thing that they're doing, while others is made to look like, man, nah, that ain't, they ain't really hitting on nothing. Y'all need to, you need to relax with that a little bit. You need to calm that down. Hey, we don't want to hear that crap right now. Hey, you need to go find something else to talk about. Better yet, you need to go get back in line. I mean, it just happens that way. I mean, like I said, people call them haters. I'm gonna call the folks the folks. I'll call them the hard critics because hate. That's a strong word because hate deals with a lot of things that Black Americans went through history wise. You feel me? But I'm not gonna give y'all no history lesson. We just gonna talk. We just talking. Like I said, it's blow the whistle. Coach blowing the whistle on this thing right here. I gotta say this. The very things that we complain about in sports, we see happen in everyday life. I mean, like I stated before, you see right now how all of these different changes are taking place where you got folks that was making 30, 40,000. They're making upwards of 150, 60,000 just because they got put in the right position for them to make that money a year. So their lifestyle is going to change. But when it happens for other individuals that's out here, regardless of how they got there, be it, they got a famous parent that's an athlete, or you got a parent that's just, out here on the grind, making things happen for his family, no matter what you need to for them to get the spotlight put on them, for them to become successful. And then when they get that opportunity to launch, take off and launch, they go. Everything is working in the direction that they wanted to go. The reason why I say all this is because we know nepotism. Nepotism is something else that's out here in this world that happens on a daily basis. I mean, hey, if you out there in Cubicle Nation, you already know what I'm talking about as far as that nepotism. You seeing your boss's son or daughter come into a job, and guess what? You sitting there looking like, this mom don't know how to do this damn work. Why is he my manager? Why is she my manager? Why is she an executive? Why is he a daggone VP? He don't even know the job. You get what I'm saying? But when I say all of that, remember, I said before, earlier, sometimes something can be right and still be wrong at the same time. And like I said, when it comes to sports, I got a couple of individuals I want to talk about. One individual in particular is LaVar Ball. Everyone talked about how LaVar Ball used to get out here and, his man, how boisterous he was as far as with his sons and whatnot. He was a father that had a vision as far as his kids get to the NFL. The same thing like what Coach Deion Sanders is doing right now with Shiloh and Shedeur Sanders, making sure that he have them in the right position where they're going to be successful. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that what parents are supposed to do, or they should do? Make sure that they have their kids in the right position where they can be successful and do a lot of great things in life, and bring others up with them as they go up that ladder, helping them get to a place where they can do some phenomenal things as well. And they can also bring some folks up behind them. Why? Because you want to see growth. LaVar Ball, he entertained everybody for 6, 7 years through Facebook. They had the All in the Ball family. That was on Facebook, giving everybody inside look as far as what the Ball family was doing day in and day out, as far as with basketball, how they was preparing themselves to get ready to play basketball. Alonzo Ball, as far as with college, and who was that? Jello. He was coming out of high school, getting to go to college. Jello, who's coming out behind Lonzo, and you had Melo, who's now over at he was the youngest one that ended up going to play basketball overseas. Now I say all of that to say critics. You saw how the critics wanted to come in there and they wanted to crucify LaVar Ball for him standing up for his kids, as far as with the dream that he had, as far as them being able to go to, all three of his sons getting drafted to the NBA. Well, Lonzo Ball is the first one to come out of college. And of course, he didn't fare too well in the, he didn't fare too well in the tournament, the NCAA tournament. And some folks, they felt the kind of way because, you had LaVar Ball, he out here bragging on his kids, which any parent gonna brag on their kids, making sure that they give them the right light for everybody to hear exactly what's going on with them. Why wouldn't they? I mean, even when a kid did bad, you still want to make sure that your child got that shine, or got that light shine on as far as what they were able to accomplish out there on the field, court, baseball diamond, wherever the heck it was that they were playing at that time. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at, I ran across an old video that just really blew me away because, you get some critics. I ain't gonna call them the haters. I'm doing away with that word in 2025 as far as talk about haters. We're gonna call them critics, because everybody's a critic when it comes down to want to talk about what somebody else is doing and how they got to the point where they are and what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. And here I got this clip from First Take where you got Stephen A. Smith talking about, but giving LaVar Ball some advice as far as how he should handle things when it comes to Lonzo Ball getting to the NBA. Check this out.
To criticize him at every turn. He's also a man who needs to be told, sir, it is time for you to shut the hell up. To be a parent who visibly thinks more about his son than himself, not just behind the scenes when no one's watching. The future of Lonzo Ball is at stake. It's time for LaVar the daddy to realize that, like most parents are expected to. At some point, LaVar Ball has to realize it's not about his belief in his son's talent, but about not creating unnecessary roadblocks and impediments to his success.
Because Stephen A. Smith, he said a mouthful with that one. Last time I checked, if a parent didn't have belief in their child, taking that same belief and infusing it into that child, as far as with playing sports, or better yet, just being an honor student, that student or that child, that child's gonna be lost. Why do I say that? Sometimes parents have to give that extra nudge as far as with giving that child that push. I'm talking a solid nudge for them to understand exactly what they have their hands on, where they could possibly go if they're willing to put their head down and put their head down and do the work for them to get to where they're trying to go to succeed. See, a lot of folks don't understand there's going to be a few things that you're going to do along the way to get to where you're trying to go. You got to give up something. You're going to give up sweat, blood, tears. You're going to give up you're going to give up some time too. You're going to give up some time. And why do I say those things? Because of the fact that it's going to be times you're going to want to go kick it with your partners. It's going to be time that you're going to, lay down and get you some sleep. You ain't going to be able to do that. It's going to be time where you're going to be aching and in pain, and you got to find a way to push through that. Why? Because when you get to that place or wherever it is that you're trying to go, it's going to be times when your behind is going to be hurting. And guess what? You got to find a way to fight through that to get to exactly where it is that you're trying to go, for them to go ahead and do what? Give you the bag. And if you don't want the damn bag, then guess what? You're going to sit there and keep on damn crying. And in this instance, watching LaVar Ball talk about the belief that he had in his kids. Hell, if he ain't going to believe in them, who else the hell you expect going to do it? I mean, when I initially heard this, it threw me off as far as with Stephen A. Smith, because I'm like, being a parent of an athlete, you have to have that tough love. You have to have even tougher love with that athlete for them to understand exactly what it is that they need to do for them to prepare to be amongst the elite. You can't sit back and just take a back seat and think that, oh, because you're my son or somebody saw you out here playing ball or whatever have you, they like you because you're a good kid. It doesn't work that way. You still got to work your ass off to make sure you get to wherever it is that you're trying to go. And people don't understand sometimes the things that you have to do in order for you to get there. It's not going to be the road that's going to be lovely that everybody's going to want to travel. So I salute LaVar Ball for what he was able to do with this, because there's not a lot of fathers that's out here that's getting a salute or a pat on the back for the job that they've been able to do as far as making sure that they put their kids in the right positions for them to succeed. I mean, let's look at LeBron. Let's look at LeBron James. LeBron James the same way. I mean, here you have LeBron James trying to get, pushing Bronny to go to the NBA. And there's a lot of folks that didn't like that. Let's look at Coach Prime. Coach Prime stated himself, he's trying to position his kids to Shiloh and Shedeur Sanders as far as the direction that they're looking to go as far as within the NFL. He's trying to make sure that they're in the right position for them to succeed. People don't understand this instance. I'm playing this like good cop, bad cop, because in this instance, you hear people want to talk, glowingly about Coach Prime as far as, we seen him with the gold chains on and he was doing this and that, even when people wasn't paying attention to how great of a father he was. Well, wait a minute. What did LaVar Ball do so bad as far as with, believing in his kids and speaking up on their behalf as far as with putting them in the proper light for people to see who they are and allow them to get to know them as far as athletes? Remember, Magic Johnson was the one that took a chance on Lonzo Ball, saying, hey, what? You say, hey, you know what? I think this young man would be pretty damn good to come in here and play for the Lakers. You get what I'm saying? So if he doesn't do that, then what are we talking about? When I look at Deion Sanders or LeBron James, the only difference in the three is you got two of them. One is an NFL Hall of Famer. One that will be a NBA Hall of Famer. Here you got a dad that played, I believe he played college ball or whatever have you, played college football. He didn't even play basketball. So looking at everything that went on with these three guys, I mean, you have to take into consideration as far as what exactly is going on. Even in Deion Sanders' case, right? Here you got Deion Sanders. Like I said, he's always been flamboyant. Prime time. Coach Prime. Matter of fact, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Deion Sanders, don't get mad because I'm going to call you Daddy Prime. Because guess what? When you hear about Deion Sanders Jr., going to school in the Lamborghini and how all the kids would sit there and freak out, boy, when you see them doors let up, when him getting out the car. Boy, hey, that's a phenomenal thing, because when you walk inside that inside that school, everybody sitting there telling, hey, did y'all see Deion Sanders Jr.? Boy, that joker got out of the car, boy, the doors let up. Man, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. You got to let these kids enjoy their moment. It ain't always about what's going on with the folks that seasoned and been around for a little while that had their chance in the sun to do the things that they wanted to do. And unfortunately, they weren't able to accomplish those things. All I'm simply saying is that looking at these fathers, I'm like, let's look at what's going on. We cut down LaVar Ball because he was flamboyant enough to stand out here and talk his talk and stand on it. He told y'all all three of his kids was going to get drafted to the NBA. And guess what happened? All three of them got what? Drafted to the NBA. Lonzo to the Lakers. You had LaMelo and Jello. Both of them went to Charlotte Hornets. Jello, I believe, he ended up going to the G League team that's associated with the Hornets. But then you got Melo. He's over there he's over there with the Hornets balling out. So I'm like, what are we talking about? I mean, at the end of the day, this man saw something within his kids. He spoke it into fruition. The same thing Coach Prime do every day with his athletes. Every day you see him put out some type of tweet or some type of message to everybody. Guess what? It's an affirmation as far as what you can do, what you can accomplish. So I'm not understanding why we cutting folks down. I mean, it just didn't make sense to me. I mean, even in this instance, I mean, like I said, you listen, even like Shannon Sharp was saying in the same tape, talk about how, hey, you know, I've been knowing Prime for 30 years now. We done had a relationship for 16, and yeah, he get out there and do blah 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 for his kids. Guess what? He say the same thing about GOAT James. That's his guy. He talk about LeBron James the same way. It almost seems like when it comes to critics talking about these athletes as far as what they're looking to do with their children, as far as what positioning them, it's like if they don't have a good relationship with them, they cutting them down. Didn't hear you say nothing about Michael Jordan kids when they was out there trying to ball out and they came up short. You didn't cut them kids down. You just, hey, you know what? They over there running their daddy business, doing blah 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 blah. None of that. None of the scrutiny that goes on with, you know, LeBron James, LaVar Ball, or any of these other dashes out here that's standing tall for their son. Even with Ja Morant's father, same thing. T. Morant stand tall for his kid, trying to make sure things are in order as far as with making sure that he continues to go and grow. That's what this thing is about. But you know why he wanted to cut down LeBron James? He had the critics from the former NBA ball players that can no longer get out there on the court and do anything because the knees is bad. They got them old crickling knees where they don't understand what to do with themselves. And they wanted to cut this kid down. He didn't deserve a chance. He shouldn't have been on the McDonald's All-American team. And guess what? This kid has come into the NBA in the G League, working his ass off. This young man is averages 16.3 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists. And the crazy thing is, a couple nights ago, this man hit his career high points of 31 points in the game. Now, how many folks really sat down and talked about, damn, the kid started to get that furnace is starting to turn up a little bit. Let's see what he can really get out here and do now. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and shoot this kid back up to the NBA because he's ready to go just yet. No. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is let this young man continue to keep building and go, get his confidence up, and then let him go back up there and ball out. Because one thing we don't understand, everyone want to talk about how these athletes ain't this, they're not that, but development is not happening at these college universities in these programs. The development is not happening. Development is not happening in these college sports programs. It's not. Basketball, you got athletes that's been in the league at least 4, 5, 6 years. They still dribbling to one side of the court and shoot from that side. They handle their ball. When they're handling the ball coming up the court, they're on one side, either left or the right side. Whichever side that is, that's their strong hand when it comes to dribbling the ball. That's the side of the court that they're on. They're not working on both hands to be ambidextrous as far as with making sure they're able to come down the court and do the things that they need to do to facilitate the ball to their teammates. They're not working on the three facets of the game. Right there at the basket, 15 back, and then behind the three-point line. I'm like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? Where's that type of conversation that when we're talking about these athletes getting themselves together to continue to keep building, to build their legacy as well as increase their game, increase their output for them to get out there on the court and do something real with it. No, we find one person that they want to give a kid an opportunity, want to cut him down. How many of you cats out here that actually work in positions right now, like I stated before, have nepotism going on? You got somebody in there getting pushed up the ladder that daggone don't even know how to do the freaking job. We've all seen it. You know, like I said, many of you out there hearing me talk about this right now, Coach, I don't hear that bull crap. Yeah, man, I should get my time. Guess what? I was just like you. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going to find a way. I'm going to get my time the way I need to get it. I'm going to do what I got to do to position myself to get the time that I need to get for me to be successful. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what LeBron James, that's what LeBron James is doing. That's what Deion Sanders is doing with his kids. And that's what LaVar Ball did with his kids. And the funny thing is, we all don't understand that. I mean, a lot of times we get upset as far as with why this person getting an opportunity and I ain't get that opportunity. What, did you put yourself in position to get it? I mean, really, did you put yourself in position to get it? Everything that we do in life is going to be based on relationships. And that's why I'm seeing right now, because of the relationships that Michael Jordan had, as well as Deion Sanders and a few others, there's going to be certain critics that's going to speak highly and give glowing remarks about them compared to others who don't have that don't have that relationship with them. They're gonna get, they're gonna get skinned on a few things where, they're gonna find whatever they can to try to cut them down and make them look like or make them feel like something that's, kind of just like it don't make sense. I mean, I'm just being honest, guys. I'm just being honest with it. But each of these young men that got the opportunity from their fathers being able to put themselves in situations to be successful. You got to salute them dads for that. Yeah, we hear about the moms all the time when you put the camera on them, especially the football game. They're on the side, love you, mom, love you, mom. You'll never hear nobody say love you, dad. I said I wanted to be the first to do it. I wasn't able to do it. That was something I fell short on, being that first one to be on the camera and say, love you, Pop. Hey, Pop, appreciate you, Pop. Love you, Pop. Hey, maybe somebody out there do it for me, hearing me speak it out loud right now. But, it's all water under the bridge. All I'm simply saying is at some point in time, we got to understand what's going on. My point is this. Depending upon, like I stated before, who's talking the loudest or who's receiving the criticism from the masses that, the old phrase is, it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when we do it. Guys, y'all got to understand one thing. If we're not willing to find a way to help ourselves or help one another, what exactly are we going to get? I mean, we can continue to keep riding the wave with crap that we think is going to get us to where we're going to go, only to see that there's a trick bag at the end of the tunnel. I mean, y'all know where I'm going with that. But I'm just saying, look, all I'm saying is this. Like I said before, sometimes some things could be right. At the same time, they could be wrong. One thing is definitely true. Here's an example of 3 fathers that's doing just that, being great fathers, making sure they put their athletes in position for them to succeed. That's all Coach trying to get at with you right now. I just had to blow the whistle on some foolery that I seen. That kind of, I saw these three dads, and I got to thinking, I'm like, man, they have a lot of similarities. And they have a lot of things that's in common as far as what they were looking to do for their athletes to make sure that they put them in a position that they need to be put in for them to succeed. Now, your favorite coach is going to go ahead and get up all night. We're going to go ahead and get up all night this thing. This is another episode of Blow the Whistle with your favorite coach, Coach Walker. Like I said before, like, share, subscribe, tap in a friend, tell them to come on in. But until next time, I'm out.